Guys, iOS 26 is here and it completely changes the way your iPhone looks and feels. From the lock screen to the apps that you rely on every day, this update is the biggest design change to the iPhone since iOS 7, which some of you might not even remember. Well, in today's video, I'm showing you exactly how I've set up my iPhone 17 Pro Max, from the home screens to the apps that I cannot live without, to the shortcuts and the accessories that make my iPhone feel more personal and powerful. Now, today's video is sponsored by Pitaka, but we'll talk more about them later on. Let's get into it. Now, we're gonna start with the lock screen because it's a thing that you see dozens of times per day. And with iOS 26, Apple has made the lock screen feel completely brand new, guys. Apple's liquid glass design makes everything from notifications to the widgets to your wallpaper feel like it's fused right into the glass. The dynamic clock can shift styles and positions, and you can build your entire lock screen around themes with widget layouts that change depending on how you're using your phone or the wallpaper that you're using. Now, I love the way that the large clock looks because it pushes the lock screen widgets that were normally at the top down to the bottom, which is making it easier to reach, especially when you have a larger iPhone 17 Pro Max. I have a video where I walk you through the lock screen customization, which I'll link right above here. You can watch that when we're done with this video. Now, one of the flashier additions to iOS 26 is the fact that you can have now 3D wallpaper as your home and lock screen. They add this crazy depth effect and movement, but for me, I still lean towards a clear, more minimal look for my lock screen. It's my vibe. Now, I get all of my wallpapers from this app called Backdrop. I'll link that along with every other thing that I'm talking about down in the video description below so you can find it easily. Moving on to the home screen, I'm running 2 pages with my most used apps on the first page and my core apps on the second page. And my philosophy here is super simple. Only the apps I really want to use, I want to live on one of these 2 different screens. Now, we're going to talk about the apps and the widgets in just a minute here, including this super cool clear widget, but we can't talk about the home screen without mentioning the new icon styles in iOS 26. You can switch between clear, clear light, clear dark, and even a new color matching theme, which completely changes the vibe of your phone. And if you have one of Apple's supported cases, you can even have the color match the color of the case. Super cool. Now, for me, I like the dark icons because they contrast better with my wallpaper and keeping everything feeling cohesive. But if you're into the minimal look, without a doubt, try the clear light icons because they let your wallpaper shine through. Now, it's a small detail, but when you pair it with liquid glass, it makes a difference. It makes your iPhone feel like it's yours. Next, let's get into some of my favorite features in iOS 26. Now, iOS 26 adds some of the most useful features that we've seen come to the iPhone in years. No doubt, your iPhone can now screen spam calls thanks to a feature called call screening. This allows phone calls from unknown numbers that are intercepted by your phone before they actually even buzz your phone, which is super cool. And only after they identify themselves will you have the ability to decide whether you actually want to take the call or send them straight to voicemail. Then there's Hold Assist, a feature that uses on-device AI to listen for hold music or automated messages that no one likes listening to and notify you when a live agent is available, allowing you to exit the call and do other things that you could be spending your time on that are more valuable. Finally, there's several great additions and messages that not just change the look and feel of your conversations with backgrounds, animations, but you can now automatically translate conversations, removing the need to bounce in between different apps just to communicate with friends and family that maybe not speak your native language. Now, these aren't just cosmetic, they are tools that I use every day that personalize my experience. And since I'm showing you my personal iPhone setup, let's talk about what's on the outside of the iPhone thanks to today's video sponsor, Pitaka. Now, this is the Pitaka Moment case and it's in the Moonrise design. It is a stunner. It is ultra slim with zero bulk, meaning I feel all the different curves of the iPhone. It's made from aramid fiber and it still gives you a MagSafe strength that is crazy ridiculous strong. Unlike most thin fit cases that leave the camera control button exposed, Pitaka engineered this case with PitaTap. This is an ultra thin capacitive button built right into the aramid fiber. Now, it's going to give you precise touch and swipe controls like instantly opening the camera, but without the cutout. So the case will stay seamless, slim, and protective. What I love about this is the woven texture. It feels premium in the hand and its color shifted design that blends the afterglow of sunset with the calm of moonrise. What's great is that it protects my iPhone 17 Pro Max without hiding its look, and it keeps my setup feeling clean and personal. You can check out their line of cases with the first link in the video description, and thank you Pitaka for sponsoring today's video. Next, let's talk about some of the apps and widgets that make my setup feel complete. I'm not gonna go through every app on these two screens, but instead, I'll call it the ones that really shine in terms of either functionality or liquid glass design. Now on the first page, I'm using an app called MD Widgets that gives my home screen an ultra clean aesthetic that blends the first widget stack into the background. For work and content planning, I'm using Notion, and for personal productivity, I'm using an app called TickTick. Going over to the second page, I've got another clear stack of widgets with two different reminder lists for ideas that come in mind. I'm using this app called Pro CCD, an analog photography app that captures that picture-perfect look of retro photos and film emulation. Another app I'm loving is called Brick, and at its core, Brick blocks distracting apps and websites, but the twist is it's a physical brick that you must tap your phone on to actually lock yourself out of apps. You'll set up modes in the app and then decide which apps that you want to stay open and which ones you want blocked. Like for me, I want Instagram, Threads, and TikTok blocked. All I do is tap the brick, you're distraction free, and whenever you want to unlock it, you tap it again and you are back in. It sounds small, but having to physically grab this, it adds just enough friction to stop those impulsive doom scrolls. And finally, there's the Ultrahuman app for detailed sleep and activity tracking that I wear with their smart ring. It tracks sleep, quality, duration, and gives you a granular score for the quality of your sleep that Apple's own app is missing. Next is where my iPhone setup feels super unique. On my iPhone 17 Pro Max, the action button, it ties directly into my personal shortcut that I call Action Jackson. With one press, it pulls up a quick launcher where I can open up my password app, start a voice conversation with ChatGPT, get some motivational music from a YouTube playlist, or even start a voice note. It's infinitely customizable, and it takes the action button from a single purpose tool to a command center that is just, you can make it anything that you want. Now I made a video on how to customize the action button, which I'll link above in the cards that you can watch at the end of the video. Now none of this matters without the right accessories, and here are some of the accessories I'm using day to day with my iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now we've already talked about Pitaka's Moment Case, which I absolutely love, but then there's the Satechi 3-in-1 foldable Qi 2 charger. It powers up your iPhone at a full 15-watt speed while also charging your AirPods and your Apple Watch at the same time. It's made of aluminum, it feels premium, and it has strong hinges that let you adjust your iPhone for portrait or landscape mode, and when you're done, it folds flat, making it perfect for travel. Now this year I upgraded to the AirPods Pro 3 for calls, workouts, casual listening. Get subscribed for that full review, and I'm also using Orbitkey's Urban Sling that perfectly matches the cosmic orange of my iPhone. I just like to match things. That's just how I am. So that is my iOS 26 setup for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, from the lock screen themes, apps, shortcuts, and accessories that make any iPhone, not just the newest iPhone, feel brand new again. Now I wanna know, how are you liking the new liquid glass design? Is it the future, or should Apple dial it back a little bit? Let me know down in the comments below, where I'll be reading and replying to you guys. Now, thanks again to Pitaka for sponsoring today's video. You can check out their full line of cases linked below in the video description. Now, this video right here is my favorite video. You should absolutely watch that one next. And the video right here below it is the one that YouTube thinks that you'll love the most. So give that a watch when we're done. My name is Mike, and guys, I'm out of here.